Welcome to live pro wrestling from Queen Street Entertainment here in Renfrew. I am Zack McGribbons. Alongside me is the Adam B. We are getting things started right away with our first contest. It's a singles matchup between Fernando de la Cruz and Alexander Kable.
That's right, Zack. It's going to be a great night of wrestling action here as we see Fernando de la Cruz doing what he does best, and that's wasting all of our time having that suit jacket taken off that sleazy body.
He certainly is a bit of a showboat, and oh, unbelievable right from the start, going after Kable in the corner.
Fernando de la Cruz, a very well-known rule breaker. Alexander Kable, a guy who soaks in the cheers and the admiration for the fans. Let's see who prevails, the good guy or the bad guy here in our opening contest.
A high knee from Kable, and de la Cruz has to go to the outside of the ring. Looking to maybe recover.
Now, Zack, you'd have to agree, we're both very familiar with Fernando de la Cruz. This is where he excels, slowing down the tempo, getting those tactics into the mind of his opponent and just flustering him.
He wants to wrestle at his own pace, and look at Kable. Cable's going on the chase to the outside.
But playing right into de la Cruz's playbook.
Oh, and an elbow right to the back of Kable. And now de la Cruz has control as there's the headbutt over to Kable, knocking him loopy there.
Kable's still young to the world of wrestling. I mean, not familiar with when not to fall into a bait and trap from somebody like Fernando de la Cruz.
De la Cruz resetting, going into the corner. Oh, and knee right into the gut of Kable. There's the spear from de la Cruz. Here's the first pinfall of the matchup and a kick out from Kable.
Caught him with two devastating maneuvers, stunned him, then was able to land the spear right to the body, but Kable able to survive.
Trying to go in for another pinfall was de la Cruz. Only getting a 1 count that time. De la Cruz continuing to work on Kable.
Zack, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Cable's got a bit of a glassy look in his eye. Might be rocked after that big flurry of offense from de la Cruz.
Kable on the recovery, though, going over the top, setting him up. Try to go for a lariat, but gets an elbow instead from de la Cruz, and down goes Kable.
But who got the worst of that? You see de la Cruz favoring the elbow, something a lot of people don't take in consideration with these strikes.
They're putting everything they've got into their strikes, and there's the neck breaker from de la Cruz. Here's another cover, and able to kick out again is Alexander Kable. It is June 29th, 2019 here in Renfrew. Continuing on with the great pro wrestling action as well here in Renfrew.
A lot of weird weather tonight, but this crowd in here, and they're going to be lively for these great matches here. De la Cruz looking to put the stranglehold on the Kable, keep him nullified on the mat.
Well, you mentioned it's electric outside. It's also electric here in this building. As de la Cruz continues to work on Kable. Couple of back elbows. Oh, and able to catch him and drags him down right in the center of the ring.
Well, think about it, Zack. Cable's been on the defensive for a majority of this matchup. Tried to throw the elbows, not a lot of mustard behind them. Easy pickings for de la Cruz just to bring him back down to the mat.
And it just comes off that early assault into this matchup. As he goes in, drops the elbow, another cover, and able to kick out again is Kable. But you have to admit, Adam, that Cable's taking this beating, but he's still in this.
Absolutely. I mean, Fernando de la Cruz spent a lot of time training under Big Magic, who's off to greener pastures in Florida. So you gotta believe Fernando learned a lot of those underhanded tactics.
Never seen it right there.
Old play from the playbook of Big Magic.
De la Cruz tried to spot Kable. Mistimed it, and there's that elbow right into the face of de la Cruz.
Not a lot of oomph behind him, but still pinpointed enough to knock de la Cruz down. But again, Kable gets baited into the trap by de la Cruz.
Again, we're seeing it again De La Cruz wanting to work at his pace. He wants to control this matchup, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. Kable is just fading, and the second rope.
De La Cruz made it known earlier on that he's not going to waste his time with the ladies of Renfrew. Some very, very disrespectful comments from Fernando De La Cruz towards the people of Renfrew.
There's another cover from De La Cruz, and again a kick out from Kable. He is taking a load of punishment here, Adam.
And you think about it too, I mean, the punishment that Kable's taking, but think about how much these kickouts are taking the remaining energy out of Kable. I mean, there's a beatdown in the ring being administered from De La Cruz to Kable, but when he goes for these covers, Kable is using up what energy is left to get out of these pins.
And we're seeing De La Cruz, he's adjusting the pad. He's going to try and expose the knee as he goes in.
Whoa!
Face first into the turnbuckle.
Turnabout is fair play. Kable baiting Fernando De La Cruz into his own trap, and you just see the way De La Cruz's head snapped off that middle turnbuckle.
The impact from that, using the second rope and taking him down with an arm drag, and Cable's feeling it. There's a big boot. De La Cruz recovering, going up. And look at the power on display from Kable. Here's the first pinfall for Kable. And De La Cruz kicks out.
Kable needs to make up some ground here, like you said, just his first pin attempt so late into this matchup.
Oh, and there's a jawbreaker. And it just stuns Kable. De La Cruz adjusting, trying to lift him up, and gets him down.
Took a little time before he covered. That could have been the difference maker.
Yeah, we saw that right there. Slow to go in for the pin, and Kable able to take advantage of that time and get a kick out.
Fernando giving Kable some time to recover as he ponders his next maneuver.
Oh, there's the kiss.
Went for the last dance, but no!
Flatliner coming from Kable. Here's the cover.
Signed, sealed, and delivered for Kable.
Alexander Kable brings a comeback and gets the victory over Fernando De La Cruz. What a big win for Kable.